Okay, today we are let us start with our XML pipeline transform. So the purpose of this XML pipeline transform is to extract the XML data. So very easily we can extract the XML data. First of all, we need to understand what will be the structure of XML. Generally, XML structure will be a nested schema structure. Very rare we will see this kind of requirements. Where to meet the XML requirements, we need to use these XML formats, DTD or XML schemas. Generally, whenever there is a requirements of doing an XML data load, we need to have two files. Number one is the structure file. Number two is the data file. So if the structure file is the DTD format, document type definition format, then we need to create this DTD file format. If the structure provided by the users is in the XML format, that is XML schema definition format, XSD format, XML schema definition format, then we will create this XML schema. So try to understand before I get into XML pipeline transform. So when we will use that XML pipeline transform, so to perform an XML data extraction, XML data extraction, that means I want to load the XML data to a table. Then to perform XML data extraction, we will use this. We will use the transform. We will use the transform called XML pipeline transform. XML pipeline transform. So very rare scenarios we will see this kind of requirements where the data provided by the users is in XML. Now, to perform XML data extraction, so we need to have two file formats. We need to have two file formats. Number one is the structure format. Number two is the data format. So these are the two things which we have to know in terms of the file formats. Number one is the structure format. Number two is the data format. So if the structure format is in document type definition, then we have to create a DTD format. If the structure is in XSD format, in bracket XML schema definition format, then we have to create XML schema format. So these are the two things which we have to know. Number one is, first point is, if you want to perform an XML extraction, so we have to have two files. Number one is the structure file. Number two is the actual data file. If the structure file is in DTD format, then we will create a DTD. If the structure is in XML schema of XSD format, then we will create XML schema. Then after creating this, within that format definition, we will select the XML actual data file. And then once the definition is done, we will use that in the data flow. In the data flow, the source will be the XML file, and the and the transform will be XML pipeline transform, and then we will load it to the target. Here one point I want to add. So hope you guys might have some idea about XML data format. XML data format, it is a nested schema. So it is not like a flat structure like what we will have in the .txt files or in the CSV files or in the XLS files. So unlike that, XML data format is a nested structure. So nested structure in the sense there will be root, there will be sub-elements, and there will be within that sub-element there will be some objects, and within that object there will be another sub-node. So that means nested structure means there will be so many parents, there will be so many childs. So to simplify this XML extraction, so SAP has introduced the XML pipeline transform in DO 4.0. Earlier XML pipeline transform was not there. So in that scenario, manually we need to perform some activities to convert the nested format into the flat format. So in Vivo, starting from Vivo 4.0 onwards, to simplify the XML data extraction, SAP has provided a transform called XML pipeline transform, wherein XML pipeline transform will automatically convert this nested structure into flat structure, so that extraction process will become very easier. Now for demonstration purpose, I am going to use SAP provided XML files for our demonstration purpose. For that, I am just getting into program files. So program files, SAP business objects. SAP business objects data services tutorial files. Then so these are the two files available for XML demonstration purpose. The one which I have highlighted is the XML data file. The one which I have highlighted is the formatted file. That means the structure. So the one which I have highlighted is the structure file, document type definition. So as we just discussed, if the structure file is in the DTD format, then we are going to create a DTD file format here. If the structure provided by the client is in the XML XSD format, XML schema definition format, then we are going to create this XML schema. Now here we are having two files. Number one is the document definition, which is going to have the structure. So I just double click on it to open it. So this is the XML. Sorry, this is the file format. So wherein if you see here mtrl underscore master plus EFF underscore date. So mtrl underscore master plus if means, so mtrl underscore master, it is going to have all these columns. Then text plus means it is going to have text plus here. Text plus means it is going to have all these columns. So that's why XML data is not a flat structure. It is a nested schema, where the main root element is mtrl underscore master underscore list, where it is having these two, and this mtrl underscore master is having all these elements, and again it is having a subnode, where the subnode again is having some elements under that. Okay, next, that is the structure. Now let us double click on the XML. So this is the actual data, where material ID is equals to A101, material type, widget, industry sector. So this is the XML, this is the data which is in the XML format. Now, so to meet, for our demonstration purpose, since the structure of the XML is provided in the DTD format, so I am just right clicking on DTD format, selecting new. So creating mtrl underscore DTD format. Next, I am just browsing and selecting the DTD file. So this is the DTD file which provided by SAP for demonstration purpose. Document type definition. So I just double clicked on it. Next one is root element. So I am just selecting root element as material underscore master underscore list. So I just clicked on OK. Now I just open up a project. So this is the project which we were using earlier. So I just right clicked on it, new batch job underscore XML extraction. So I just drag and drop the data flow. So paste it here. So df underscore XML underscore extraction. Double clicked on it. So I just drag and drop XML file as source. Here I double clicked on it. Here the XML file. Here we need to provide the actual file, which is going to have the data. That means this is the one. So I just click on it, select a file. So this the file I am selecting, the XML file which is going to have the actual data. Now Going to this transforms, drag and drop this XML pipeline transform. I just connected this, double clicked on it. If you see here, XML source is a nested schema. It is not having a flat structure. This is having a sub hazmat_ind, and it is having a text, and text is having some chains, and this text is having again subnode. So please try to understand, XML is not a flat structure. XML is a nested schema which will have multiple parent and chains. So it will have different multiple levels. So it is kind of hierarchy. Okay, so I just drag and drop material ID, so material type, industry sector, then material group. Why I'm adding all these? Because I'm just going through exploring this data where the data is there, material ID, material type, sector, material group, unit, tolerance. So let us drag and drop unit and tolerance. Okay, and then let me drag and drop this short text. So I just added some columns. Now I just clicked on back. Now I'm going to data stores, drag and drop a template table. So giving the table name as mtrl underscore say master. So I just clicked on OK. Now I just click on validate. So now I am running the job. Job is successfully completed. Now if I monitor how many records are there, 6 records. So now 6 records are there in your target table. So using XML pipeline transform, we can extract the data of XML very easily. So this is introduced in the Vivo 4.0. So earlier this was not there. Earlier manually we need to convert that nested schema into the flat structure. So starting from Vivo 4.0 onwards, so SAP has made XML extraction very easier by introducing this XML pipeline transform. So this transform is going to convert the nested schema structure into the flat structure automatically. So 3 things we have to remember. If you have a requirement of XML extraction, use XML pipeline transform. Next, second point is, so what format? There will be 2 files in the XML scenario. Number 1 is the structure file. Number 2 is the data file. If the structure file is in the .dtd document type definition format, then create this file format. If the structure format is .xsd, that is XML schema definition, then use this XML schema definition. Then after that, drag and drop that into your data flow. In the double click on the data flow. In the data flow, you can in the data flow there will be option called XML pipeline, XML file, where we need to browse and select the corresponding XML data file here. So for your practice session also, please use this file which is there in the tutorials folder. So this is the part of it. So C:, SAP Business Objects Data Services tutorials. In this tutorials part, in this tutorials folder, you will see 2 files. Number 1 is the document definition file. Number 2 is the XML file. So, but in a real-time point of view, very rare you will use this XML. Very rare you will do the XML extraction. Okay. So now moving on, tomorrow we may start this SAP ECC extraction. For the timing today, I will cover this transform, and this transform in the next session. So today we will quickly do one interesting scenario. that is called how to process multiple sheets at a time. Say earlier we have seen how to process multiple files which are there in a folder .txt files at a time, right? So we while creating the file format, we just need to use the while character star.txt. Then all the files within that folder will be loaded at a time. Then same applicable for your same applicable for the Excel files also. So if you are having multiple files in a particular folder, so you can do the same here by just using the star. But now our requirement is we are having the data in multiple sheets in a one particular workbook. Then how to load all of them at a time? So that is our requirement. So our requirement is clear now. So let us say we are having data in sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. How to process all those sheets at a time? So to meet this requirement, the very first requirement here is, so you should have this information in one sheet. What information? So we should have the list of all sheets. We should have the list of all sheet names where the data exists in one particular sheet. So this information is required. Are we understanding, right? So I'm having data in a number of sheets. I want to load all of them at a time. So to meet this requirement, what is the prerequisite is, in one particular sheet we should have the list of all sheet names where the actual data exists. Say for example, I'm having data like this. I'm having data like this, company code 4001, amount is say 5000 INR. Okay, now I'm having the data in two sheets, sheet 2 and sheet 3. So we should have that sheets information in one of the particular sheet, so that we can process all of them at a time. So whatever I mentioned so far clear? Any questions? So I am having the data in sheet 2 and sheet 3. So in sheet number 1 I am maintaining the sheet names. Is that clear? Okay. Moving on. Now my flow design will be like this. Number 1. So I'll have a job. So within this job, I'll have data flow number 1 and data flow, let us select, and while. So let me make it as workflow number 1, where workflow number 1 is going to have data flow number 1. Data flow number 1 is going to have a source file format to read the sheets, to read the sheet name. So this will be there in source file. Madam, how to do this? I want source file format. I want one source file format to read the sheet names, and it has to be loaded okay, and it has to be loaded to one target table. and it has to be loaded to one target table. So what I should have into this target table T1, it should have two columns. Number one is row underscore ID. Number one is row underscore ID. Number two is sheet name. This is the data I want into table number one. Madam, can you suggest me how to do this? So that means I am having a job number one. Within that job I am having workflow number one. Within that workflow number one I am having a data flow number one. In this data flow number one I want a source file format to read the sheet names. That means I want this sheet 2 and sheet 3 information into my target table number one. So how to do this? This is what I want into my one target table, this data. So very simple is you need to create one Excel format. In that Excel format, please refer sheet 1, only sheet 1, so that you will get sheet 2 and sheet 3 information into one target table, and use one function called gen underscore row underscore ID to generate this row IDs. Okay. So in your target table, you are going to have this information. So that will be done in the workflow number one, which is having a data flow number one, with the source file and the target job done. In between, there will be obviously one query transform. In between, there will be a query transform. A query transform. So this will be there. So the source file format will be connected to the query transform, and the query transform will be connected to the target table. So this is one of the interesting requirement, where in an Excel workbook I am having the data in multiple sheets. So how to load all of them at a time? To meet this requirement, I should have the sheet names where the actual data is available. So that is there. Now my design of the job will be like this. So where the job is having a workflow number one, which is having a data flow number one. Data flow number one is having a source file format to read these sheet names, and a query transform on the target table number one, where my target table number one structure should be like this. Okay. Now coming to this while, so there is let us remove this. I am going to keep one script here. Next, a while loop. Next, and I am going to connect these two. Next, in the script, I will get max row underscore ID from T1, and I will pass it to one variable called $row underscore ID. Next, in the while, I am going to check if $row underscore ID is greater than 0. Then process the while loop, or else exit. So what will be there under while loop? So Control C, Control V, Control V. So this will be there in the while loop. Script number 1, script number 2, which will be there in the while loop, script number 3. So script number 3, what we are doing, we are reducing this row ID. $row_id is equals to $row_id minus 1. So in this script, what we are doing, get sheet name from T1 where row_id is equals to $row_id. If this matches, then get sheet name. Then in between, I think little bit complex, but I think you can understand. In between, we will have a data flow number 2. In this data flow number 2, what I am going to do here is, in this data flow number 2, what I am going to do here is, so a file format, then a target table number 2, which will have actual data. Then this will be in Excel format, and file name is equals to, so hope you remember the Excel format. What will be the options in the Excel format? We will have a directory and also we will have a file name. Am I correct? So instead of hard coding file name, we will generally select sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Correct? So instead of that, we are giving with a variable called $sheet. So that $sheet is going to get populated here, equals to. Now, do you understand what I mentioned here so far? Can I explain one more time? Now, let us go back. So our requirement is to process multiple sheets at a time. For that, prerequisite is in one of the sheet we should have the sheet names where the actual data exists. That is the prerequisite. Then our design of the job will be like this, where job is going to have a workflow number 1, which is going to have a data flow number 1. That data flow number 1 is going to have an Excel format to read this sheet 1 information, and which is getting populated into the T1 table, where T1 table structure is going to have a row_id, sheet_name. Clear? Okay. Next, then this workflow number 1. See here, let me add one more thing. So here we are having this workflow number 1. Okay. So this will be connected to this script object. So whenever you are connecting one after another, that means those will be executed by system serially, one after another. Okay. So I am connecting this workflow number 1 to this script 1. In this script, what I am doing, I will get maximum row ID from T1 and I will pass it to a variable called $row_id. Madam, what will be the value for the $row_id? So in the script, get max row ID from T1 and I will pass it to variable $row_id. What will be the max value? 2. So $row_id is going to have 2 initially, correct? So here in the while loop, I have mentioned this condition. If $row_id is greater than 0, then passes the while loop or else exit. So initially it is 2, which is greater than 0. Then it will process this while loop whatever we have defined here. So what I have defined here, script 2, then data flow number 2, script 3. In the script number 2, what I am doing, I am populating $sheet. So how I am populating? Get sheet name from this table get sheet name from this table where row underscore ID is equals to $row underscore ID. What is the initial value for $row underscore ID, madam? So initially max it is a 2. So since we are reading max, it will be 2. So 2 means, so it will, we are writing a script here, get sheet name from T1 where row underscore ID is equals to $row underscore ID. That means, so it is going to get sheet 3 and that will be populated to $sheet. Okay. Then it will go to this data flow number 2, where in the data flow number 2 what we are having an Excel format. So Excel format number 2, wherein file name we have defined a variable $sheet. So $sheet is having sheet number 3. So that will be loaded to the target table. Then it will come to the script number 3. What we are doing here, $row underscore ID is what value it is having here? Max. That means 2. Correct? So 2 minus 1, 1. So again it will come to here. Oh, $row underscore ID is having 1, which is greater than 0. Then again it will process. So $sheet, it is going to have sheet number 2 this time because row underscore ID is going to have value number 1. Then sheet number 2 will be loaded. Then again it will come to this script where 1 minus 1 is 0. So it is not satisfying the condition. So it will come out of the while loop and it will say job is completed successfully. So how many Excel formats were required now? One is for to read the actual data. The other one is to read the sheet names. Here, this one. Okay. So I am starting my development. So I just go to the file formats. So let me save this first. So sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Okay, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Okay. Now I am going to create two Excel workbooks. One to read the sheet names, one to read the actual data. So I just right click on it, select new. So one is for sheet name. So I am just browsing, selecting the file. So selecting the file name as, what is that file name? Multiple sheets we just created. Okay. Next one is here, worksheet. So sheet number 1, selecting it, import schema. So it is having only one column called sheet name. Perfect. So I just click on OK. Next, I am creating another one. So giving the name as actual data. So I am just browsing and selecting for the time being. So I am selecting the desktop and straight away selecting the file for the time being, because since I haven't defined the variable so far. Once I define the variable, again I will come back here and I will change the sheet name to the corresponding variable. Perfect. Now we got the structure as well. Okay, super. Now let us start designing it. So I just right clicked on it, new job. So job underscore multiple underscore sheets. So just copying this. So I just drag and drop this. So df underscore multiple sheets. Now, so I just double clicked on it. Now, sorry, what is our design? What is our design? So we should have workflow number 1 and then script, workflow number 1, within that workflow we are having the data flow, right? So let us drag and drop this workflow. So first time we are using this workflow. So I just drag and drop, Control V. So WF underscore. So workflow is nothing but just to organize your objects. So I'm just say cut, double click on it, so paste. Now within this we are reading the sheet name to one target table. Okay, so I'm just adding a sheet name, then a query transform, then a template table, giving the table name as sheet name. So I'm connecting this to this, so connecting this to this, then double clicking on query transform. Okay, now I just drag and drop. So before that, let me add one extra column. So row underscore ID. So I just click on OK. Then populate by using a function called gen underscore row underscore number. Next, adding a sheet name. So our data flow number 1 is successfully done. So let me execute this job. So job is successfully completed. Now let us go and see the data here. So what it is having? Row ID, sheet 2 and sheet 3. Perfect. Now one part is successfully completed. Now coming to the second part. Now I just added this script object. Then this is the first time we are using a while loop. Please try to observe how I am using. I just drag and drop that while loop onto the workspace. Now I am connecting the script to this. So in this script what we are doing, we are populating a variable called $row underscore ID. So SQL. So the data store name. What is the data store name? FI underscore DB. Next we need to select max of row underscore ID, row ID column. What is the row ID column? Select max of row underscore ID from what is the table name? From this table. Okay, from f underscore db dot sheet name. Perfect. So just click on validate, because we are going to get an error because we have defined the variable. So let me go back to the job, tools, variables. So I just right click on it. So defining a variable called $row underscore ID. At the same time I will define another variable for sheet as well. Perfect. So let me define another variable for $sheet. Where say let us do some counting. Okay. Now we have two variables. Now let us validate. We will see what error. So no errors. Perfect. It's just a warning. So far whatever we have designed, so we reached to a certain extent. Like data flow number 1 is done. Then so data flow number 1 is done. Then we have done with this script, and now we are getting into the while loop. So now double click on it. So here we need to mention that condition $row underscore ID is greater than 0. Then see if that condition is satisfied, then script data flow script. Okay. So this is one of the biggest exercise I think so far we have. So far what we did. So now a data flow. Now another script object. So in this script object what we are doing, Ravi or Madam? So in this script object what we are doing? What we are doing? Populating a variable called $sheet, get sheet name from T1, that means this table, where row underscore ID is equals to $row ID. So I am just double clicking on this. So what we are populating? $sheet. Okay. Sorry. $sheet is equals to SQL So what is the data store name? fi underscore db, comma, select. What we need to select? Which column? Which column from this? Sheet name. Select sheet name, sheet underscore name from this one, where row underscore id is equals to dollar row id. So I just clicked on validate. So no errors. So let us check the name, sheet underscore name, row underscore id, sheet underscore name, row underscore id. Perfect. Now in this one, what we are doing? We are reducing the row id -1. Okay. Now the final one is, in this data flow, we need to drag and drop this actual data. So before we drag and drop that, instead of hardcoding the sheet to, we will use this variable called $sheet. Now add this one. Then I don't think so we need any query transform blah blah blah. Then we can directly connect it to one template table. Okay, actual underscore data. Now, so I think it's good to run it. So before run it, let us try to do a print. So print, I'm just printing the what file name system is looking for. Sheet name. Sheet name is concatenate $sheet. Okay. Now let us execute the job. So let us validate all. So some warnings, save all. Now execute it. So before that, let me close the screen and start the job. So job is terminated due to error. Let us see that. So invalid pseudo column $row id. So data flow number 2 is started, that is done, that is completed successfully. Then, so what it is saying? So SQL sheet underscore name from where max row id $row underscore id. Okay. Select sheet underscore name. Okay. From invalid column pseudo column $row underscore id. So see, sheet number 3 is processed first, then sheet number 2 is processed next, then job is completed successfully. Now, madam, how many records will be there in our actual target table? How many records will be there in our actual target table? How many records are there in the file? How many records are there in the file? Sheet 2 is having 1 record, sheet 3 is having 1 record, right? So there are 2 records. Remember, sheet 2 is having 1 record, sheet 3 is having 1 record. So our target table should have 2 records. But why only 1 record? Any idea? Any guess? Ravi, any guess? So initially it is 2, so sheet number 3 will be processed, then sheet number 2 will be processed, because if you see the log, so the successful completion, yeah. So if you see this log, first sheet 3 is processed, then sheet number 2 is also processed. Then we should have 2 records. Okay, but we are having only 1 record. What type of table is this? Is this a permanent or template? So what will be the default option for a template table? What will be the default option for a template table? So drop and recreate table. So first, yeah, drop and recreate. So first 1 record is loaded. Again, second time when it loads the second record, so first record has been deleted. That's why it is having only 1 record. Now I deselected the checkbox. Now I executed. Now how many records will be there? 3 records will be there, because 1 record is already existing. So I just clicked on this. So I just clicked on this. So total 3 records now. Okay. So tomorrow we will, most probably tomorrow, what we'll do? Yeah, tomorrow we will get into SAP ECC extraction. Okay. So madam, please go through some material or Google it. What is SAP ECC? Who will work in SAP ECC? So how many business processes are there in SAP ECC? So please go through that. So before attending tomorrow's session, okay? So tomorrow we will complete SAP ECC extraction. Okay, Ravi? Okay. So I'll share the recording. I'll keep this recording onto your desktops in another few minutes, so you can go through it. Okay. Which one, madam? 8 or 7? Yeah, Saturday I kept two recordings, right? 7 and 8, I think. So which one you are unable to do? So that 7? Okay, madam. I'll paste it one more time. Okay, madam. Thank you. Thank you, Ravi.